Imagine a fresh, clean world, a world without pollution, an atmosphere with plenty of oxygen, no disinfectant or chlorine odors in the air. Imagine a pool filled with the equivalent of fresh, clean rainwater, a pub without the suffocating smell of smoke, a fish shop without the offensive fishy odor, an odorless public toilet. That's the kind of world we'd want. But what could provide it? Our increasing awareness about the need for a cleaner, healthier environment has led us to develop new habits, such as drinking bottled mineral water from natural springs in preference to chlorinated tap water. But while we can be sure of the purity of the water itself, can we be sure that there are no contaminants in the container in which the water is bottled? If the bottles are cleaned with chemicals, wouldn't that leave a residue that would taint the water? What could solve this problem? The answer to all these questions is ozone, Mother Nature's miracle purifier. We're not talking here about the much publicized ozone in the upper atmosphere. We're talking about natural ozone that occurs down here at ground level. Think of the fresh, clean smell after a thunderstorm. That is ozone. It's a colorless, very reactive gas that occurs naturally in the Earth's atmosphere. It's in the very air we breathe, in minute concentrations. So how can we use ozone? Let's take a brief look at this amazing substance and find out first how ozone occurs in nature. If you take a naturally occurring oxygen molecule, that is two atoms of oxygen bonded together, and subject it to an extremely high electrical discharge, such as lightning, the oxygen molecule is split into two oxygen atoms. This is an unnatural and unstable state for oxygen, and each atom actively seeks out another atom or molecule to which it can bond. When it does this with another oxygen molecule, it forms a molecule with three oxygen atoms. We call this ozone. This ozone molecule is very unstable, and it actively seeks other atoms or molecules that it can oxidize, that is, lose an extra oxygen atom to. Oxidation is a powerful purifying and sterilizing process that we have known about for years. We routinely use chemical oxidants such as hypochlorites and bromines for tasks such as bleaching and for keeping the swimming pool water clear and sterile. But these chemicals are dangerous to store, handle and use. Ozone, on the other hand, is a safe, effective, harmless oxidant that can replace many of the harsh domestic cleaning agents and bleaches, and when it decomposes, ozone changes back into oxygen. Let us go back to the bottling plant for an example of ozone at work. Water with a high concentration of dissolved ozone is used as a final rinse for the bottles before they are filled with pure spring water. Ozone purifies water by breaking up organic contaminants and converting minerals to insoluble forms that are filtered out. Ozone also destroys bacteria and sterilizes the bottles, allowing a product that is healthy and hygienic. But ozone has many other applications. We all know what happens to a tray of apples if there is one bad apple in the tray. The bad apple generates a gas called ethylene, which effectively causes the rest of the apples to ripen more rapidly. The presence of ozone in fruit and vegetable storage areas, such as cold rooms, will oxidize ethylene, keeping produce fresher, considerably extending shelf life. So if ozone is such a marvelous natural purifier, why don't we just manufacture it and use it instead of relying on potentially dangerous chemicals? Well, the answer is that it has been done for many years. The water in Paris has been purified using ozone for more than 100 years, and over 1,000 major cities in the world use ozone in their municipal water treatment plants. In Germany, ozone has been effectively used in the medical field since the early 1940s, including for the treatment of blood. The problem with ozone is that it has an extremely short lifespan. As we said earlier, it seeks out other molecules to which it can lose its extra oxygen atom by oxidation. So, in order to be effective, we need to continuously generate and release ozone where it's needed. We need a sort of lightning in a box. Now, with modern electronics and technology, it is possible to manufacture compact units, capable of producing high quantities of ozone for use in all sorts of applications at an economical price. A South African company, Ozone Services Industries, has, in their research and development program, adapted and improved on ozone generating equipment from around the world, thereby developing their own world-class, high-quality, unique range of air zone and aquazone generators. These produce...
Tonight in our series on food safety, the value of ozone. Mention ozone under normal circumstances, and most people will think of the ozone layer over the earth, which protects us from the sun's ultraviolet rays. Ozone, in this case, comes in a bottle, or pretty close to it, and it turns out to be a most effective killer of germs. Here's ABC's Ned Potter.
When the grapefruit is picked from the trees, it's sometimes filthy, stained with bacteria, mold, and pesticides. For decades, American packers have washed food in chlorine, but it doesn't clean away everything, and it does leave a chemical residue. So here's another idea. You know how fresh the air sometimes smells after a thunderstorm? That's partly because lightning cutting through the air turns oxygen molecules, or O2, into ozone, which chemists label O3.
In water, it's 3,000 times faster acting, killing virus, bacteria, than chlorine is.
Charles Pearsall's firm makes ozone generators for food companies, such as Quality Packers in Vero Beach, Florida. They sell fruit, but ozone can be used to clean everything from vegetables to beef to chicken.
We're feeding these small chambers high voltage electricity and passing oxygen through those chambers, and the electricity is breaking the oxygen into ozone.
That ozone gas is pumped into the packing plant's water, which is sprayed under pressure on the grapefruit. Ozone cleans all sorts of chemicals off food. It kills E. coli, salmonella, and other organisms. And there's a bonus because the water is now recyclable. After the wash, it's pumped back to the ozone generator to repeat the process. The result is plainly visible. This is a jar of water that's been used to clean off the fruit. 15 minutes later, after it's been filtered and treated with ozone, it looks like this, ready to be used again. The government approved ozone for food just this summer, but it's not new. In Japan and Europe, it's been used for decades. The water supply for Los Angeles is cleaned with ozone, as is most bottled water. But for food in the United States, ozone got little notice until the recent episodes of contamination.
I think it's one of the nicest opportunities that's come along for the food industry and for consumers in a long, long time.
Ozone cleaning is no more expensive than chlorine, and it leaves no chemicals behind. Ozone quickly turns back into regular oxygen. As the technology spreads...
They're calling it new green technology that will keep the food you eat safe without a lot of chemicals. It's called EcoSafe. Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin is live in Pasadena with the latest on this breakthrough in food safety. Robert.
Mark, you know how after a thunderstorm everything smells fresh and clean? Well, that's ozone at work. When electricity mixes with oxygen, it's Mother Nature's cleanser. And although it may sound too good to be true, some local entrepreneurs say that the benefits of manufactured ozone are real and that it could change the landscape of green, clean technology. This might look like ordinary tap water, but it's not.
It will kill absolutely any pathogen that's in the water.
The water is registering as a disinfectant that's made naturally and touted as a breakthrough in food safety.
This has been the last 8-10 years, my whole life.
Michael Elliott is the president of EcoSafe Systems, based in North Hollywood. He says the benefits of ozone were discovered 100 years ago, but it wasn't until 2001 that the USDA approved the process as a way to disinfect food.
It works 3,000 times faster than chlorine, which is a standard disinfectant in the industry. This is green.
Elliott says the process is amazingly simple. The ozone machine his company invented runs electricity into the water supply.
In that state, for some reason, it's Mother Nature's way of cleaning things.
Along with restaurants, the company's ozone machines have been installed in 5 Whole Food grocery stores throughout California.
It's great, and it's a green machine, so there's nothing harmful about it. It's just kind of a miraculous thing, and it's a win-win situation for everybody, for the store, for our customers.
According to the company's research, Ozone isn't only a great disinfectant, it also improves the shelf life of produce, shellfish, and poultry.
At a meatpacking plant in Southern California, this is how they clean the kill room. Step 1, they get out the garden hose and soak the surface with hot water. Step 2, bring in a bucket of stringent chemicals mixed carefully so they don't harm anyone, and scrub the surface. Please note the protective clothing worn by the worker: eye goggles, rubber gloves, rubber boots, and a rubber apron. Step 3, rinse off the stringent, possibly dangerous industrial sanitizer with regular water. Step 4, a second person prepares the foam from the foam dispenser. Step 5, apply the foam to the surface. Step 6, once again they scrub the surface. Step 7, rinse off the foam using both hot and cold water. The EcoJet way is one step, and because it's all natural, it is completely safe. It doesn't require any extra labeling on organic foods. We took swabs before and after the entire room was cleaned in the same manner. The floor had a bacteria count of 22 million. The normal 7-step program, taking 30 minutes, reduced the bacteria count to 7,800. The EcoJet system, in 5 minutes or less, and using cold, ozonated water, reduced the 22 million bacteria count to 30. Think of the savings you'll enjoy when you don't have to heat your water to 180 degrees and cut your natural gas bill by 1/3 or more. Cut your labor costs in half or more and eliminate almost all chemicals. We're talking about thousands of dollars a month. We purchased this stalk of romaine lettuce at a local grocery store and washed it in ozonated water for about 20 seconds using ozone mix from this EcoSafe Systems ozone machine. This all-natural product is killing 99.9% of the bacteria and viruses on the lettuce, including Salmonella and E. coli. At the same time, this person is sanitizing his hands. He then placed the lettuce in an upright position, and by using time-lapse photography got this result. Just focus on the middle of the lettuce. Let's look at that again. This is before ozone, and this is with ozone. We then took a head of iceberg lettuce and chopped up most of it and placed it in 2 salad dishes. We then rinsed the salad bowl on the left in ozonated water from the EcoSafe System ozone machine for about 20 seconds. We then placed them side by side, and again by using time-lapse photography, got this result. Let's look at that again. It's pretty obvious that the salad on the left looks much better and is germ-free. Because it was rinsed in ozonated water, it is still totally organic and tastes better because it has no chlorine.
Now let's take a look at what it can do. Going to take this beaker, fill it up with 800 cc's of regular tap water. And that looks about right. And in this beaker, going to fill it up with also 800 cc's of ozonated water from this amazing machine. You'll see what happens. Seven, we're almost there, and 800. Here we go. So, next, I'm going to add a drop of blue ink into each of these beakers. Watch. This is tap water, and this is ozonated water. Now, let's give each a stir. What a beautiful blue color. So what happens here? Amazing, isn't it? It's not magic. What it is ozonated water from this machine here, breaking down and dissolving the ink. It's Biotech's ozonated water very quickly oxidizing and decomposing the ink. This means it sterilizes, disinfects, decomposes pesticides, dechlorinates, deodorizes, and preserves freshness. Biotech commissioned the world's leading inspection, verification, testing, and certification company to test what ozonated water from this machine does. Now, the report confirms that highly concentrated ozonated water from this machine can decompose agricultural pesticide residue from fruits and vegetables in less than 3 minutes. Now, let's take a look at how ozonated water disinfects and kills bacteria. These are pictures from the world's leading testing and certification company we commissioned to test the ozonated water from the Biotech High Concentration Ozonated Oxygenated Water Maker. They're before and after images of bacteria treated with Biotech's ozonated water for 5 seconds. We had the world's leading testing and certification company test and show evidence that the ozonated water from the Biotech High Concentration Ozonated Oxygenated Water Maker can kill 99.999% of Staphylococcus aureus, E. coli, Salmonella, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and Candidus albicans bacteria in between 5 and 15 seconds. People have realized that high concentration oxygenated water can increase oxygen intake. It can improve memory, blood circulation, increase energy levels, and reduce fatigue. Now, it's important to have enough oxygen for our body, so it's also very important to find different sources for oxygen. Now, earlier we explained how ozonated water from our wonderful machine here can disinfect and dechlorinate. Our oxygenated water is made from our ozonated water, so you can rest assured that what you're drinking is absolutely safe and good for your health. In our next experiment, let's test for chlorine. Now, in this beaker, I'm going to fill it up with 150 cc's of regular tap water. And in this one, 150 cc's of oxygenated water. That looks about right. Next, I'm going to add some chlorine tester. 15 drops into tap water. That's 1, 2, 3, 15. You can see how yellow it's becoming. First, let's stir it up. So now it's evenly distributed. Now, let's see how much chlorine is in our oxygenated water. Color hasn't changed, but let's stir it up anyway. Still clear. You can see that our oxygenated water doesn't contain any chlorine.
In conclusion, I wanted to introduce you to the Ozone antibacterial sterilizer unit. It is connected to the tap here, the kitchen tap, which when you turn it on, delivers ozonated water either into a bottle where you can fill it for drinking water or onto fresh vegetables for rinsing. This is the machine mounted on the wall, connected to electricity, and you can turn it up or down at the push of a button depending upon how much ozone you require.